Hello everyone, hope you all are safe and doing well. Welcome back to the Python programming video lecture series. I hope you must have revised our last lecture and solved the assignment based on it. Now let us start with our next lecture, that is lecture number 10. In this lecture, we will see one programming construct called as if-else. Welcome back to the Python programming. In a syllabus, we have seen from the introduction to programming and introduction to Python up to data types in a Python till our last lecture. Now let us start learning about few important programming constructs in Python that you will use for many times in future. So in this lecture, let us learn if-else syntax. So let us start with our lecture number 10 and learn about if-else syntax, that is a very much important construct of Python programming. First, we will learn about if-else syntax and then let us see one programming example of if-else. The syntax is, first we write if keyword. We know that keyword is program defined element which we write in a source code as a part of program. It is different than identifier because identifier is a programmer defined element of a program. So this is a keyword if, and we have to write in this way: I small and f is also small. In front of if, we will write our condition. Generally, this condition is written using comparison operators or relational operators, that is less than, greater than, etc. And the result of this condition will be one of the Boolean values, that is a true or false. Below this condition, we will write a code block with indentation, and this code block is executed when the given condition is true. That means if this condition is true. Now let us understand what is a code block. Code block is basically a small part of source code or small block of source code. That is, it contains few lines of instruction within a single code block. Since this code is written in a form of block or few lines of instruction, that belongs to this if keyword. Hence, it is called as a block of a code. Now, it is written with the indentation. What do you mean by an indentation? Indentation is a space of one paragraph which you have to leave before writing the source code of or code block of if. When you write the first instruction of code block of if, you have to take your cursor here and press enter. Then the cursor will automatically set a space of one paragraph or one tab over here before the first instruction of your code block. Hence, the writing of code with paragraph before each line within the code block of if or within the code block of else is called as indentation. So basically indentation is a space that is equal to one paragraph or the space which is equal to one tab of your keyboard. So the code block of if will be executed only if the condition is true. But what will happen if the condition is false? The control of execution will go to the else part. We have to write here else and give semicolon. Again, else is a keyword. In else part also, there is one code block with indentation and else is executed when the condition is false. Hence, to summarize, we can say that if and in front of if we will write one condition. If this condition is true, then this code block will be executed or this lines of instruction or part of source code will be executed, and if this condition is false, this code block will be skipped and the control of execution will directly come over else, and the code block which is corresponding to else will be executed. Means if the condition is true, code block of if will be executed and else code block will be skipped, and after the execution of this code block, the control of execution will go to the next lines of program by skipping else, and if the condition is false, code block of if is skipped and code block of else will be executed and the control of execution will go to the next lines of program. Means if else is basically used if we want to execute only certain part of code based on a condition. If that condition is true, then that certain part of code will be executed, otherwise that part will be skipped and other part of that code will be executed. So now let us see the example of if-else program. This is an example of if-else program. Let's start. A equal to 10, B equal to 20. I have assigned the two values over here for A and B. Now I have used if-else programming construct over here. If A is less than B, this statement will be executed. If A is not less than B, means if the condition is false, then the control of execution will go to the else part and this line of code will be executed. Since this is a very small example, code block of if consists of only this single line of code, and same is the case with else. Remember people, these two are keywords and this will not get printed in your output. Now let us see how does it work. I have given A equal to 10 and B equal to 20. So now let's check. If A less than B, A is 10, B is 20. So if 10 is less than 20, it is yes. Means if A is less than B is true. If this condition is true, if part will be executed. So print A is minimum will be executed in this case, and the next part, that is else part, will be skipped. Now let us see the result or output. This program is written in a script, that is I open Python shell and go in a new file, and then the script is open and I have written it in a script. We have seen the difference of Python shell and script in the earlier lecture, that is how to start and close a Python program. It is easy to write a bigger program in script, hence I have written this in a script. Now the output of it will be displayed in Python shell. So I will click on run. Its output should be A is minimum since condition is true, hence if will be executed. So the output is A is minimum. Now let us change the values. Suppose I write 20 here and 10 here. Now this condition will become false since the value of A is greater than B. So this if will be executed only if the condition is true. But now this condition is false because 20 is less than 10 is false. It is not true since the 20 is greater than B. So what will get executed here? If A equal to B, it is false, hence the control of execution will go to the else part. This line print A is minimum will be skipped and the control will go to the else part and print B is minimum will be executed. So let's see the output. Okay, you must save the program before running. So I will click OK to save. The output is generated. See, B is minimum and really we can see the value of B is minimum. I can also see in the case of negative numbers. If I give the values like -3 and -7. Now which one is greater? Obviously -3. So if A is less than B, false. Hence else part will be executed, that is B is minimum will be executed. Let's check. See, B is minimum. So in this way we use if else. There are the other forms of if else syntax that a programmer use as per his need. The first form is if within if, without else or no else. We can write multiple if statement one below other. The second form is if within if else. We can write if else and within the else part of it we can write one more if. The third form, which is most commonly used, is if else within if else, which is also called as ladder. That means in the else part of first if, we will write one more if else, and in that another if else. Within the else part of that another if else, we can write one more if else, and so on. So it will create a ladder of if else. All these forms will be used as per the situation in the given program and corresponding to the need of programmer, and it completely depends how the programmer use it based on given scenario in the program or the requirement in a given program. So these are the different forms we can use of if else syntax. So this was all about our 10th lecture. Don't forget again to solve the assignment based on this lecture and revise this lecture once again. We will meet in the next lecture, that is lecture number 11. Till then, thank you, bye bye and take care.